Hi everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I'm going to be doing my review on Agatha All Along episodes 1 and 2. So, as I mentioned before, I don't want to do an actual reaction to the the episodes because after the whole thing with my grandmother passing and the cremation happening, I didn't feel comfortable on getting to do a full out reaction to it. I wanted to watch it because I wanted to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but I don't want to go and do a reaction to them and relive the episodes more than once, as I felt like, as a person who does not like horror, I didn't want to go into that, but I also wanted to give my official opinion about what I thought about it and do I recommend it for kids. So I want to take that step and I want to take that initiative and discuss what the plot was for both of them. So this is going to be a non-spoiler turned spoiler review. I will definitely get into the section saying what was the non-spoiler review and what's the spoiler review. So let me get into the non-spoiler review about episode 1 and 2 first before I start heading into the spoilers right now. So I feel like, in my opinion, Agatha All Along episodes 1 and 2, I think that they have two distinctly different tones, but they do this on purpose. First episode is an interesting opening to the main show, what our characters are going to be, or some of our main characters are, and like who Agatha is and what she's been up to for the past 3 years, which has been crazy to think that WandaVision came out about 3 years ago. And the thing is that we are now establishing this solid timeline in the supernatural horror side of the MCU, which again I'm not a fan of, but I wanted to give my official review to. So this is going to be an interesting one that I definitely don't know how I'm going to be able to take the rest of it, but I'm going to take it as it is and react to it as much as best as I can and do what I can when it comes to this show in particular because of its horror atmosphere. I know that some of you guys love horror, but to me, I'm not a horror person, so I'm taking it as best as I can. I think that the tone shows that it could be a comedy, it could be a horror comedy, it could be a lighthearted comedy, but it also could be a dark horror. And I love that you can distinctly feel between the different lines of comedy and horror. It does a fantastic job doing so. And I think that Marvel does an incredible job on maintaining its tone and shift between going from drama to comedy to horror. And it does a good job on doing so. I think also, on top of it, as was mentioned over in an interview with some of the stars and some of the filmmakers and the showrunners on Agatha All Along, that there's very little CGI, which with this show so far, with the 2 episodes that I've seen, I definitely understand as to why that it's said, because as a person who saw both episodes, there is very little CGI to this. There really is very little CGI. It's mostly practical, and I like that it's mostly practical. It gives it more of the realistic tone that I think that it needed in order for it to be, a show that people could enjoy, relate to, especially in the spooky season. And it's pretty interesting that we got this show at around this time, and I'm super excited that we have a show that I think that, if you are a fan of horror, if you are a fan of the MCU, then this is the show for you. And especially you could watch this during every Halloween from here on out. But I think it's a special time now because it's like you're watching this story unfold in real time when the episodes drop. And this is it's a fun show so far. And again, I'm not looking forward to the scary parts. Are there scary parts in Agatha All Along episodes 1 and 2? Yeah. There definitely are some legitimate scares. This is definitely not for kids. there are some content in here that really surprised me, particularly episode 1, that I'm going to get into the spoiler review in a bit, that I definitely do not recommend your young kids on watching this. This is a show that I think this is for older teens to adults. This is more of an adult show, plain out. This is a show that I think that it is trying to differentiate itself from WandaVision, and it does a good job doing so, but it's very, very adult that I do not think that it's worth your kids seeing because of content or because of the atmosphere out of it. I do not want kids getting scared about it, so I want to make this as truthful and as realistic as possible. But Agatha, all along episodes 1 and 2, not for kids. This show is not for kids. Even though it's rated TV 14, there are some surprising things in there that I was very surprised about. And I don't think this is a show that young kids should watch. I think that this is a show that adults will definitely enjoy if they are horror fans, if they are Marvel fans, and even musical theater fans. Yeah, there's some musical theater in, well, mostly in episode 2, not episode 1. Episode 1, which I'll get into the spoiler review, will definitely be it'll definitely be, brought up. But now, without further ado, let's get into the spoiler part of this review. Okay, so in episode 1, let me just briefly go over the plot. So we find Agatha in this show, which is called Agatha of Westview, I want to say. So it's supposed to be a reference to Mares of Easttown, and this is a interesting thing. So she plays a detective on the show, and there is a body that's found in the woods that she needs to investigate. And the thing is that there's a lot of things that are pointing towards one specific person, Wanda Maximoff, and she's trying to figure out the case and everything, and it keeps unfolding and it keeps unfolding, and then all of a sudden the chief, which is being played by Aubrey Plaza, she actually is another character. She's trying to get Agatha to kind of snap out of being in this ideal world, which it's something that Wanda put Agatha in back in the ending of WandaVision. And this young teen, which we haven't got a name for him yet, is also there, but is trying to break her free too, for whatever reason. When she is broken free from everything, Agatha has a fight with Aubrey Plaza's character. There's an actual witch fight that happens because the Aubrey Plaza's character is also a witch. And there's a couple of witches that are wanting for Agatha dead. And it's mostly because I guess that Agatha has done some wrong to them. Agatha is a villain that she has been wanting power. And Wanda stripped Agatha from her powers ever since that she punished her in a hex prison in her mind. So it's been an interesting journey for them, and a really interesting journey for them, and especially Agatha. So she's trying to get back to her old ways. Her powers are stripped. She wants to go cross the Witch's Road, which is kind of like a thing where, in a way that I would want to say that it's like this specific road where once you reach the end of it, then you get what you want type of thing. It's kind of like an Aladdin situation where you rub the lamp 3 times and the genie comes out and grants you the 3 wishes type of thing. And the thing is with this is that we don't get a name for the teen. We don't get any type of name for the teen whatsoever as we then lead into episode 2. It just keeps getting muddled and it keeps getting hidden by distortion, and even his mouth gets magically covered by like writing, because they're not wanting to reveal who this person is or his background story when Agatha reluctantly lets the teen go and join this journey. And so I guess for this ritual to happen on crossing the witches road, she has to recruit a couple of other witches along down side of the road. When she does, then she's trying to as best as she can, but there's one particular person on this list that one of the witches gives her, who she's working as a psychic, and she tells them, go find these other ones. And she finds one of the other witches working in her own shop, that it's for candles, but she's having legal issues. Another one's working as a security officer over at the mall, but she gets fired because Agatha does what she can to get her to be occupied, to be unoccupied, and getting to work at this thing, at this whole thing with a new coven trying to be made. And then we have these three, and there's a fourth one on the list that she doesn't want on there because I'm guessing that's Audrey Plaza's character, and she goes and recruits Mrs. Davis, or Mrs. Hart if you want to say, and instead, because it's supposed to be a green witch, which I don't know much about any of that, which I don't want to know much about it, but probably with the show I'm going to know a little bit about witches, or the modern witch, or the past witch. I have no idea. I really don't want to know, but apparently it has something to do with the earth, so that's why she chose Mrs. Davis or Mrs. Hart to go with them, because she's a gardener. And it was funny to get to see that little thing happen. So when they had to sing the ballad of the Witch's Road, it didn't unlock a door or anything, but these creepy women in black show up over in Westview all of a sudden, while they're chanting, the teen is freaking out like if he is in a horror movie, which it's like if he is, and which is like all of them are. And when they're done chanting the ballad, then the door opens up to the Witch's Road, and then they are on their way. So it's not much of a plot, but the thing that I want to give about this is that it feels like a weird horror version of Wizard of Oz to a degree. And there's a lot of parallelisms that I see from this to that. And what I think that the Witch's Road is that it's a tumultuous road that makes you go on this specific journey, that makes you face your past, and makes it seem like it makes you go through the past to see if you are eligible to go through the road without having to feel like you're going to buckle under the pressure of everything else that is thrown at you. And I like to throw a little bit of Christianity into this, a little bit, just because that's my personal nature. And I just want to say that, of course, I don't like this dark atmosphere, but I was able to find some things in here that relates to us as people. And the way how I was able to find that is that if the Witch's Road is something where it's these negative things that are thrown back at you, then I like where it's heading, because of the fact that that's what we as Christians, what we go through. And what I mean by that is that the enemy likes to throw so many things at us in our past, things that we regret, things that we said, things that we did, things that we watched. And the enemy likes to throw back at us saying that, look how it ruined your life, look how it ruined you, look at how it ruined your mental and your spiritual and your emotional and your physical health. I got you where I want you, ha ha ha, type of thing. But the thing is that if you are a Christian, or if you're not, the thing is that in a Christian perspective, if you are a Christian, who's stronger, the enemy or God? God is a lot stronger than anyone. So he could just go inflict the enemy with the move of his finger, if right now, especially if you have something going on you right now that it's really weighing you down. And that's what I think the Witch's Road is on here. As for those in who are not Christians, I think that if you let the bad things keep weighing you down, then you're not going to be able to see the best of days that are to come. And the thing is that the best days are when you have people with you right by your side to get you through the toughest of times. I have friends that they have difficult times, especially now, and that they result to that they feel like they have to result to something else. But as long as they have friends that they could be able to go and talk to and that they feel like they can be able to depend on, that's where it counts the most. And that's what I want for them to feel. I want for them to feel like they can come to me for anything and that they can go to anyone for anything, because that's the main point about being in this special relationship between you and somebody else. And when things go or when things are thrown right at you because of whatever circumstance, whether it's life or whether you believe it's life or if it's the enemy throwing these things at you, the thing is that you are stronger than what you think, and that you can be able to overcome these darker moments in life that they want to throw at you. And that's what I think that the Witch's Road is the Witch's Road to me is a metaphor of the road of life, and that it's these things thrown at you. But I feel like with the Witch's Road, it's more of that these things are going to come back to haunt somebody, and that they're going to test them to see if they're mentally and physically and emotionally and spiritually capable of crossing that road. And the reward at the end is the reward that you get, whether it's through life or whether it's through a trial or through a season. And that's what I think that this is. And the interesting part about this to me is that when going through this journey, and that you're with people that you feel like you can trust, and the people that you want to endure the hardships of. And that's what it is with me. I got family, I got friends from the university, I got friends from work that has helped me to go through this journey of life, especially through this tumultuous time with my grandmother passing and these different things of life being thrown at me and me having to overcome them. And that's what I relate to with this, and me wanting that reward at the end, because that I'm wanting to see the better of things. That's what I relate to as well. And unlike Agatha on her using these witches to form a coven, so that way I know that she's going to go and turn her back on them and backstab them and do what she wants to do and do whatever it takes for her to get power. I think that that's such a good lesson on stating that if you use these tools to get what you want, but you're hurting people, it's going to come right back, turn things around, and it's going to make your life even more impossible and even harder for you to reach that reward, because you did not wholeheartedly do so. And that's what I want to say is going to be the biggest lesson out of this, is that I have a feeling that she is going to temporarily get what she wants, but the reward's going to be bestowed onto somebody else. And I have a feeling it's going to be that teen, that it's going to be him who's going to get that reward, because that he was trying to be a person that was wanting to do something for somebody else. He selflessly joined Agatha's coven so that way he could see her get what she wants. And I think that she, on the other hand, is using these witches to get what she wants, but she is going to turn her backs on them because I don't trust her. And I think that the reward is going to be bestowed onto him. And I'm betting you that this is going to make him become Wiccan, because I believe that this teen is Billy Kaplan or is Billy Maximoff. But it's either one of the two, and I believe he's going to become Wiccan by the end of this series, because he has no powers whatsoever right now, but he's going to gain powers, and I have that feeling that that's what this direction is going to take. So, yes, I do believe that we all go on this witch's road, or you can call it whatever road. It's like, even like how the Wizard of Oz says, follow the yellow brick road, and look at what happened. When they all went through on the road all together, little by little, Dorothy and Toto went and had their adventure on the road after, landing in Munchkinland in the land of Oz. And they went, her and Toto and the rest of them, when she met the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion, they had their misadventures, they had their misfortunes, they had their trials that were thrown right at them, with the witch that she came in and threw a fireball at the Scarecrow, almost burning him, or the trees throwing the apples at him, or going through the scary woods, or even going through the flowers that was putting them to sleep. And then, doing a favor for the wizard to, and then, killing off the wicked witch and that bringing back what the wizard told them to bring back, and then it turns out it was a guy who was a fake, but then was still able to bring him home to a degree. um you know that's what the witch's road's going to be, is like something similar to that. It's that they're going to have their tumultuous times, they're going to have their problems, and then later on down the road, then that's what's going to happen. They're going to get the reward. Some of them are going to get the rewards, other ones are not. I have a feeling, and I think that this is going to be what it is. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the plot I'm saying is wrong, but I mean, who knows? Maybe I hit it right on the head, maybe I didn't. It's always a fun surprise to see if I did or if I didn't. If I did, I find it to still be a great show. If not, I find it to be a great show. But so far, it's on the bottom of my list, just because of the horror type and the atmosphere of it. It's not my type of show, but I'm giving it a shot and I'm giving it a chance, and I'm grateful that I'm actually giving the chance to it because of the fact that this is an interesting idea of exploring the supernatural side of the MCU, and I'm grateful that I'm getting this chance to do so. And I hope that maybe this review helped out a little bit for you guys, and I hope that you guys understand that why I'm doing this format instead of just doing a plain old reaction to it. But without further ado, thank you guys for watching my video and my official non-spoiler and spoiler review for Agatha All Along episodes 1 and 2. If you guys want to see more videos like this, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, I have Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, my Discord and my Discord servers, and my TikTok accounts, which all the links will be in the description below. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all. Stay safe. And I'll see you all in the next videos. Bye, guys.